Yo, what is good, everybody? Hope each and every one of you guys are doing well on this wonderful afternoon. I wanted to come on here with another astrology video because I was thinking the other day about how interesting it is to have planets in the sign of Sagittarius as well as the sign of Gemini. So not in just one of these signs, but you have to have planets in both of these signs. For those of you who have planets in both of these signs, or for those of you who have planets in the 9th house and the 3rd house, I want you guys to comment down below if you have planets in both of these houses, because what it represents is the sign of non-committal. You know, these are the people who are most likely to not be in a committed relationship, you know, and I'm going to explain that here in a little bit. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look up your natal birth chart. There's a bunch of websites that will tell you. You have to just know the time that you were born and the place that you were born. And then obviously your birthday and year, stuff like that. But once you enter that information, it'll give you a chart. And if you have planets in your Sagittarius house, which I mean, you'll be able to tell if you look at the chart, and your Gemini house, these are the type of people who are least likely to commit in relationships, you know. And I'm going to talk about the reason why that is because when we take the sign of Gemini, it's a sign that is very curious. You know, they need constant mental stimulation. And if somebody isn't providing that for them in their relationship, they are most likely not going to stay, you know, because they know that they can get mental stimulation through other people. You know what I mean? And I'm not sitting here saying that Geminis are just most likely to cheat or they're most likely to leave you per se. You know, you have to look at the whole chart for that. But it's a sign that doesn't want to commit. You know, it's the least likely sign to commit other than Sagittarius. You know, that's why the reason why people say that Sagittarius usually are cheaters is because they're so adventurous. You know, it's the sign of adventure, and these people have very big hearts naturally, right? They're very optimistic. It's a very optimistic sign. And I actually happen to have this placement within my chart where I have planets in my Gemini house as well as my Sagittarius house. That's why I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of talk about why these people are the most likely to cheat on you. Right now, we obviously have to look at the whole chart in order to be able to determine, right, like what a cheater is, or like, you know, how they come across. But like, I wanted to make this video because I think it's interesting, that dynamic with Gemini and Sagittarius, because these two signs are the most likely to cheat on you. You know, they're the least likely to be able to commit to you long term. And I just thought it resonated so heavily whenever I saw this chart in the first place. Not to say that I'm like a cheater or anything. I'm probably the most loyal person that you'll ever meet. But you know, I tend to see these tendencies with myself. You know, I like to entertain multiple different relationships. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to commit to one person. And that's why I'm curious to see if you guys have planets in your Sagittarius and Gemini houses. If you do, comment them down in the description box below. But the reason why they are cheaters is because both of these signs, you know, with Sagittarius, like I was saying before, they have such big hearts that they often express their love so heavily that they need another person in order to share it with. You know, it's too big for them to just commit to one person, right? And because it's a sign of adventure, they are wanting to be adventurous naturally. And because of this can cause some strain in a long-term commitment if that person wants to explore. You know what I mean? That's why Sagittarius is oftentimes, they get married a little bit later in life, right? They don't really marry early in life because those early stages are when they're exploring the most. And so I just thought that this dynamic was interesting. And I wanted to kind of talk about why this placement specifically tend to be the least non-committal sign, as well as the sign that is most likely to cheat on you. So if you're with a partner or you're with somebody and they have both Sagittarius and Gemini placements, be aware, you know. And obviously this can offset, like I said before, you have to look at the whole chart. So if they have these two signs, but they also have other signs that are very loyal, like if they have a lot of Taurus in their chart, if they have a lot of Scorpio in their chart as well, not as likely to cheat on you, right? They're not as likely to not commit because they're two of the most loyal signs in the zodiac, you know. But I just think it's interesting when somebody has planets in both Gemini and Sagittarius. So let me know if you do. But with all that being said, my friends, have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night, wherever you're at. I think I'm going to go live here in a little bit, so stay on the lookout for that as well. But see you guys later.